Do you like the pony or do I just look bald? So are you a spiritual person? Since you're watching this channel, I'm going to bet that you probably are. And maybe because you're a spiritual person, you also have some really interesting ideas and maybe limiting beliefs when it comes to money. So today I wanted to make a video for all the spiritual people of the world. And I wanted to talk about 3 money beliefs that you might need to heal in order to live your best life. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then be sure to keep watching. What's up guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Jen. I am a spiritual life and business coach, and this is my YouTube channel where I create 2 new videos for you guys every week, all about the art of combining mindset and manifestation together so that you can go out there and align yourself with your goals and live your dream life. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, then be sure to go ahead and smash that subscribe button. So as I said at the top of the video, today we are going to do a video all about money and spirituality. And in particular, I want to talk today about limiting beliefs that might be holding you back from earning money in your life. So just before we kick off the whole video, I wanted to show you guys that this is the card that I picked to work with this year. This is the Queen of Pentacles card. And if you're not into tarot cards, you might not know. This is one of the 4 queen cards, and she kind of represents wealth, abundance, queenliness, being a boss, all those things. So I have picked this card to work with this year, and what I mean by that is, like, I have her sitting on my desk all the time, and I keep coming back and trying to reframe the things that I'm working on through the lens of looking at the Queen of Pentacles. So this is what I have been personally working with this year, and I thought that maybe I'd come on and share some of that with you guys as well. So what I'm really working on is money issues, business issues, success issues, all of that kind of thing. And this stuff I think is so important. And maybe you don't realize how important it is, which is exactly why I wanted to make this video today. So with that all being said, let's dive into it. So as I said at the top of the video, maybe you consider yourself to be a spiritual person, and maybe you have a very conflicted relationship with money right now. So this is the reason why I'm making this video, because there are so many of us people out there who consider ourselves to be spiritual and find ourselves struggling in the area of money and wealth and abundance. So I really wanted to kind of shine a light on why that is and what we can start to do to heal that, because all the stuff that we have been programmed to think is not necessarily the case, and it is definitely not doing us any favors. It is not helping the world become a better place. It is actually serving to keep most of us down, to prevent us from shining our light, and to prevent us from being our best and sharing our work and our energy with the world at large. So I want to make this video so that I can help you get back into your full power. And when you're in your full power, you are in your full earning power as well. And I'm not making this video because I think everyone has to make a certain amount of money or drive a certain kind of car or whatever that is, but most people that I talk to really have an issue in this area. Again, like I said, that is why I wanted to make this video today. Collectively, we have all been programmed to think these things. This can be stuff that maybe you learned from your parents, learned from watching TV, learned from other kids on the school ground, but all of these ideas that we have picked up somewhere along the way are not actually serving us. And since we are now a grown-ass adult conscious creator, it is up to us to go back in, figure out what beliefs are serving us and which ones aren't, and to go back in and reprogram the ones that aren't, so that we can live our best life and fulfill our actual destiny, because our destiny doesn't have anything to do with those limiting beliefs. So as I just mentioned, a limiting belief is any idea that you hold on to that might be getting in your way right now. And we have all grown up with all kinds of limiting ideas and limiting beliefs about how the world works, about what our limitations are, about what limitations are for people in our town or that are our nationality or whatever. And it is these ideas that we hold on to, that we decide to uphold, and therefore we make true. And when you are really honest with yourself and you ask yourself if you want to be loyal to those ideas, if those ideas are going to be part of your world, do you really want to hold on to them? For most of us, the answer is no. So it's really important for us to go in and become aware of these things that we are thinking so that we can identify them and learn how to move past them. So now that we know what a limiting belief is, today I'm going to share with you 3 limiting beliefs when it comes to money that you spiritual people especially need to learn how to heal and reprogram. And the first one that I want to share with you is the big one, and that is the idea that money is evil. So I want you to think back now to when you were a kid, and I want you to think about how you may have heard this said to you, maybe by your parents, or maybe you saw it on TV, or maybe it was just, it just seemed to be common knowledge and you just kind of picked it up along the way. So one example that I would give you of this is the classic Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. He is, created as this character who is the rich, evil person, and is supposed to fulfill a stereotype of people that have money are also inherently evil. So even if your parents didn't actually come and tell you that rich people are evil or that money is evil, you might have picked up this idea from so many places. This is also a very big idea in many religions, and most Western society is a very puritanical place to be. We have a lot of puritanical ideas even in our modern society. And this is definitely an idea that originally came from the church. So Christians used to be told, or Puritans used to be told, that having money, being rich, being showy like that was not spiritual. It was evil. People that are rich and do that stuff are evil. So to help you balance out this thought and to help you see on the other side of this, I want you to now think in contrast to ask yourself if that is really the case. So for most churches, if you go to a church on Sunday, at some point during the service, they are going to pass around a basket and ask you for money. So let me ask you again, does the church think money is evil if it is asking you for money during the service? Okay, so think about that. If a church needs money in order to further its purpose and in order to do its work in the world, then why are you not allowed to ask for the same thing? So this is an idea that probably came from somewhere in the Bible that's gotten a little bit convoluted along the way. Actually, it is definitely from the Bible. It's that quote, the love of money is the root of all evil, but that's actually a different meaning than the meaning that we are assigning to it. But the love of money above all else, like putting money above all else, yes, that would be an evil thing. If you value money more than your fellow humans' lives, then yes, of course, that would be an evil thing. But it is not saying that money itself is evil. So this is just an idea that people have held on to and misinterpreted over the years, but it is still coming up over and over and over again. So I want you to think about that. And of course, the example that I'm giving you today is about what happens in a church. And maybe you don't go to church now, but I want you to just step away and to question this and to start to look for evidence to the contrary, because I believe that if you go out there and look for it, you can find some examples of money doing some good in the world. And I could start naming you a bunch off the top of my head, but me naming things for you isn't going to be as profound as you going out into the world and looking for it. So that is my challenge for you, to help turn around this limiting belief. I want you to go out there into the world and to look for examples of how money is doing good and therefore is not an agent of evil. So that is the first tip for you guys. The second money belief that I want to talk about today is the idea that you cannot be rich and spiritual. So this kind of goes hand in hand with the money is evil idea that we just talked about, but there is a very big belief out there in the world still to this day that spiritual people should not, cannot, will not ask for money. And I'm going to go a little bit more into this again in the next tip I'm going to give you after this. But in this particular instance, I want you to just really start to unpack this for yourself. So again, this probably came from the idea that money is evil, or that asking for money is evil, or that rich people are evil. Therefore, of course, since you are a spiritual person, a caring person, of course, you can never be rich. So if that is true, if spiritual people cannot be rich, that would mean there are no spiritual rich people in the world, right? That would mean that they could never ever go hand in hand. So again, me thinking of an example to give you is never going to be as powerful as you coming up with an example on your own, because it's your brain that we need to reprogram. It is your limiting beliefs that we need to work around. So if this limiting belief is resonating with you, your homework to help reprogram this one is to take a little notepad with you, and as you go through your week, keep an eye out, or as you watch videos on YouTube or whatever it is you're doing, I want you to look for evidence of a spiritual person who also has a lot of money, okay? So I want you to think of, some great spiritual teachers, and there are many of them that are very wealthy indeed. And I want you to create a list for yourself so you can collect evidence that your brain loves to show your brain that this isn't actually true. Because again, if your brain thinks that you cannot be spiritual and rich at the same time, it's going to subconsciously block you from ever becoming rich, because it wants to make sure that you are spiritual and therefore good and therefore loved. And if you accidentally go the other way, that all might change. So we need to show your brain evidence to the contrary. So again, your homework is to go find a list of spiritual people who are also doing very well financially, and just keep that with you and keep referring back to you. And we're going to start to reprogram your brain to see the other side of this idea. Okay, the third and final limiting belief around money that you spiritual people need to wrap your heads around today, that I'm going to share with you, is the idea that spiritual people shouldn't charge for their services. This is such a big one. As you can see, all of these ideas that I'm talking about today, they all kind of go hand in hand. But this continues to be a big idea that still comes up over and over again. So I am a business owner. I have a small business. It's just me. It's me, my coaching, my writing, all of that kind of thing. And every once in a while, I will get an inquiry from somebody online who wants to work with me, or it appears that they want to work with me until they find out that I'm charging money for my services. And, I used to think this was really funny, but now I can kind of see the other side. Like, I guess people are thinking that if you are doing something spiritual, that you can't possibly be charging money for it. So let me just ask you though, how logical and how possible would that be for anybody to do that? How could we pay our rent? How could we buy our food? How could we take care of ourselves, take care of our families? How could we do these things if we were not allowed to charge for these services? So there also seems to be some idea out there that if you start charging for them, of course, that means you're not spiritual. And again, that goes back to the other thing that we pointed out. And again, I'd love to point out the entire world of spiritual millionaires out there in the world, people that are doing amazing things and also making really good money at the same time. So this belief comes up sometimes, and I think there are some people in the world that are a bit manipulative and a little bit controlling, and of course will try to shame you into not charging just because they don't want to pay you. And I want you to be aware that that is a problem that exists in the world. That is not a judgment of you that is actually real. That is someone trying to be manipulative and controlling and trying to get something for free, which is very, very different than someone actually having this belief about the way the world should work that they are projecting onto you. Spiritual services are the same as any other thing, and we are all living in a society where we use money as a representation of value, of worth. And your time, your energy, your skills, your witch skills, whatever skills you have, those are things that are worth value in the world. And therefore, because we live in a world that we measure value through money, you are also allowed to charge money for what you do. So to help you counteract this idea, I want you to take a look around now at the people that you admire, at the spiritual people, the coaches, the wellness service providers, who you admire the most. And I want you to see if a single one of them does work for free. And probably, I'm going to guess by doing this exercise, by going on Instagram or going on Pinterest or going wherever you're going, you are going to find out that the people that you resonate with the most, the people that are the most popular, the people that have the biggest social media followings, those are the people that are probably charging the most amounts of money. And people don't have to follow you. People do not have to hire the most expensive coach. People do not have to follow the most popular person on Instagram. That stuff happens because these people have an energy and a charisma and knowledge that is needed by the world, and they get to be paid for it. It is the people who are not charging anything, the people who are wanting to get into coaching and not yet able to bring themselves to ask for money, the people who are, doing a healing session but don't want to ask for money. These are the people that you will never hear about because they will never become big, because the people that even use those services won't value them. When you get something for free, you don't value it as much as when you pay for it. So to give you another example of that, it is so common now for people like me to give you something in exchange for you signing up for my email list. So in my case, I have a free How to Feel Better class that I will give you for free in exchange for you signing up for my class. And there are so many people, like I used to go sign up for everybody's free thing. I had all the cheat sheets, all the free classes, all the webinars, all the stuff. The thing is, none of the free stuff is ever going to be as valuable as me paying for a class, as me paying for a coach. Because when I am paying money for something, the exact same information I am going to take way more seriously. So also in a way, charging money to somebody, it not only allows you to make a living and to be a being in this physical universe that we all live in, it also benefits the person who's paying you more because they will take your work seriously. They will listen to what you're saying. When somebody gives you something for free, you don't even pay attention to it. It does not make an impact on your life. It is the people that charge more money that create more impact. And there's a bit to unpack there, which I'm not going to go into now. But I wanted to bring this up to you guys today because I'm sure you can think about this. I'm sure that you have some freebies sitting around in your email box that you never even opened because you don't value them. And it's the same thing with spiritual service. You need to charge money in order to help people, because if you don't, they're not going to pay attention. And as you are, as a human being on this planet, you are allowed to charge. You are allowed to make money, because this is the system that we're born into, for better or for worse. This is where we are. So you get to play in this system and not try to exist outside of it and hope for people to give you donations and scraps to live off of. That is not the way that you were meant to live. Okay, so that is it for today's video. What did you guys think? I would love to know your thoughts and comments on this very complicated subject of money and spiritual people. So if you have a question or another limiting belief that you'd like me to talk about, then go ahead and drop it below. I love to see your comments and questions as always. Thank you guys so much for being here and taking time out of your busy week to hang out here with me. If you liked this video, please give it a like. If you want to hear more from me, you can go ahead and hit my latest upload right here. If you want to subscribe, you can do that right here. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. So until then, as always, just remember, get ready for the miracle. See you guys.